Welcome to Diversity Conversations, where we engage in thought-provoking dialogue to identify leadership solutions to today's most challenging conflicts. Stream live each week, Saturday 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Hosted by Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Strategist and CEOs Eric Ellis and Tommie Lewis. Join us and add your voice to this engaging diversity conversation.
Good morning, Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, the United States, and the world. My name is Eric Ellis. I'm the president and CEO of Integrity Development Corporation, and I'm joined this morning by my good friend and my brother,
Tommie Lewis, president and CEO of Make It Plain Consulting. Good morning, Eric.
What's up, Tommie? What up, baby?
Oh, it's good to be back again.
Woo!
We want to do part 2, Eric.
That's right.
On this Saturday morning. We're going to keep this thing going. Obviously, there's a lot of things that happened this week, but we want to invite our community once again back to us and support us in our effort to continue these diversity conversations.
Absolutely. Tommie, it's been a fantastic week. So much has happened. What are some of the consequential diversity conversations that you've either been a part of or observed this week?
You know, 3 things. One, Eric, is that for whatever reason, again, beyond my knowledge and sometimes my interest, that the attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion has been perpetrated so much so that it's almost annihilated an entire industry.
Absolutely, Tommie. Wow.
And so I would say that, you know, in defense of what the work was and still is, is that we still have people living in this world. We still have people working in companies, and we still have people who are also called customers who are buying the products and services that companies create. And so without the people, I don't know what we would do.
That's right, man. That's
so
right.
We've been having some conversations around people and the people systems, keeping the people safe at work, keeping the people motivated and inspired to be their better best.
Right.
Part 2 is that within my organization, Eric, we have a number of different lines of business, and we have learned more and more this week that proper preparation prevents poor performance. So
say that again, man.
We have been preparing for next year. We've been preparing for the lull in business. We've been preparing for the spike in business because people are still going to be who we are.
Right.
And so proper preparation prevents poor performance. And then finally, once again, still getting my rest and relaxation.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, Tommie, because that's what's important. And I want to say to you, community, that Tommie and I are confident that we are going to be okay. What you can't do is sit around singing a sad song, woe is me, waiting on the enemy to come whisk you on the way here to carry you onto the lake of failure. Why are you doing that? I'm just waiting. I know they're coming. They're coming. Get up, run, make something happen. I am looking at the United States the exact same way the immigrants do. As land of opportunity.
Yep.
They get over here, Tommie, and they think, oh man, I'm about to do something. Yep. That's how I feel. It is the Wild Wild West, people. Everybody's suffering. Everybody is struggling. Big companies, small companies. This suffering has not been built for you, just simply for you. Everybody's going through it. So you have to make up your mind that I'm not going to be a victim. Yep. And I have made up my mind. And what I carry around with me is a lot of excitement. Because the way I look at it, Tommie, is if everybody out here, they're playing bumper cars and they running into people and things like that, shit, I can do that too. You know, I'm about to win that game. They're running into each other sideways. They stalled over in the corner. Hit the pedal backwards. What are you doing? I'm just stuck.
I'm just stuck.
Wait. Get out of the car and jump in another one.
And you know the attendant, he's only 18 years old.
Right.
He's going to slowly come over to you.
He's going to watch you.
And pour you.
Right. You might not even get to you before all your money was spent. You stuck in the corner.
Everybody running laps around.
Yeah, you couldn't hit reverse.
Couldn't reverse.
So we are hitting reverse and then speeding off to the next thing. See, Tommie and I spent a lot of time in the music park, man. We know you do not stay in the corner. So we are backing up, going in other directions, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm telling people, Tommie, I'm really coming into people along the road, and they're stuck, and they're just looking like, I said, you sell gas? Yep. Well, what's happening? Well, I'm in the corner. Get out of the corner. And I'm just slapping them, waking them up, saying, that's not your fight.
No.
I have a beautiful friend that was she's being pummeled right now by all this craziness, man. And I just say, hey, that's not your fight. Get out of there. Pack up all your stuff. Say, hey, you win. And just run on out of there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to fight to the death? No. You are not supposed to fight to the death for 3 letters.
No.
Go get you some more letters. It's the whole alphabet.
Yeah, Eric, I listened to what you're saying, and I do understand, fully understand. The other part is, I guess I have never been built that way.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, my athletic history, and I want to refer to that because I am an athlete by birth.
Preach now.
Right? By birth. And so pivoting, adjusting, going back to the board, making real time and game time decisions, that's par for the course.
Right.
And so you have a game plan. You always have a game plan.
Right.
You're crying out loud.
Right.
You're watching film. You go through your practices.
Right.
And that's what it is. Practice, and you're preparing. And
you're ready to adjust.
When you get in a game, and there's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, name the sport.
Right.
Particularly if it's a contact sport.
Right.
If there's any contact.
Right.
You get in a game, there's going to be an injury.
Right.
And so I've always played hurt. I've always been injured. Something's always been hurt. Playing basketball, I've had all of my fingers jammed.
Right.
Swollen.
Right.
Have to tape stuff together.
Right.
And just pivot. So I, as a business person, have never had the mindset of, let me have one plan, one play. And when the defense, because the defense is always out there.
Right.
When the defense kind of loads the box.
Right. Get your play.
And they run it, and then they stop you and get you in the corner, like the bumper car in the corner. I've never been one to just stop.
Right. And stay in the corner. Like, they got me. Hey, guys, you got me. I just put your hands up there every time and say, you got me.
I have options.
Right.
I ran in high school, Eric, I ran a triple option. On every play, there were 3 options. And that's why defenses literally could not beat us.
Listen, y'all, come on.
Every play. So, yes, we're going to the right.
Right.
But there are 3 options there. And I had to, as a quarterback, again, we ran a wishbone. I had to read the defense.
Right.
So if the defense crashes in on that particular line of business or that topic, I will pull it and keep going down the line.
Right.
And then I can either run it myself.
Right.
Let me just manage this process myself, or win this client myself, or do this work myself. Or I would pitch it to my star player. Right. My go-to.
Right.
That was almost the last resort.
Right.
The last resort was actually the best resort. So if we're talking to our DEI champions around the world, who have for years built a career slowly up the chain, up the ladder to get to a place where they are now. And now the defense is kind of crashing down.
That's right.
Either run it yourself, entrepreneurism, right?
I like that.
Or pitch it to another teammate.
Okay.
So Eric Ellis is a teammate.
Right. I'm ready
to pitch it. Tommie Lewis is a teammate.
Right.
We have to know that we have options, and we have to just play the field. It's going to be a great morning.
And to know, I love this analogy that we're working, y'all. We're preaching to somebody. But I'm going to say to you, Tommie, I love this. Because, see, here's the thing that I said. I said that sometimes you have to know how to put it in reverse, pivot, go another direction. You don't have to protect letters. But guess what? Tommie said this. I'm gonna restate it. Sometimes I'm running the ball like a quarterback. I look like I'm going toward the sidelines to get out. So you think you are in pursuit of me, and so I'm so fearful of you that you can just pull up now because I'm gonna just go and tiptoe out. And you know what I might do? Turn up field and run you over.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes, Tommie and I have a lot of different speeds that we can go at. Sometimes when God has said it's not your fight, then I'll pull up, go another direction. But you keep messing with me on principled things and watch what I do. Because I had a dream about that this morning, Tommie, where I was willing to stand up and speak the truth in real common sense ways, man, we are equipped to fight against lies because the truth is always stronger. And I don't know why God had me rehearsing a whole speech about love and saying to the president, I'm going to love you. I'm praying for you. Saying to all these haters, there was a concept that God gave me. I haven't even thought about it since it was in my dream, that love is so much stronger than hate. That hate actually has to shudder at the feet of love. And it rises up like it's strong and powerful, but it's not. It has no power, actually. And when you show up with convincing love, it baffles the mind of the enemy.
Yeah, so I want to jump in there. I think that was profound, Eric. And I know that the enemy is working as well, because as you were sharing, and you all know we have you back now, we lost you, right? You all went away.
Right.
And, but we're going to keep going. You see us, we hear you,
right?
You hear us. Community, continue to join us. We want to also invite you and remind you to like and subscribe. We need you to like and subscribe to stay with us. We have a topic for today, and Eric and I will go in any direction. We may do a little bit of a bonus today, we may not, but it's always good to see each and every one of you every Saturday morning, and in some cases, maybe Saturday night.
That's right.
Because we're global, Eric.
That's right.
Global.
That's right.
But it's great to see you all.
That's right.
Diversity Conversations.
Let's pull up our presentation slides, Tommie, from last week. We were reflecting on our work. Tommie, there's a huge QR code there right there. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But there's one in the middle. Can you tell our community what that stands for again?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to first thank you for the 7 years, every weekend, staying with us, joining us early in the morning, mid-afternoon, late evening. And over the last 7 years, some 375 different episodes. Eric and I have, for the most part, actually for all the part, self-financed.
That's exactly right.
Our conversation to keep bringing it to you. We have a wonderful producer who is producing behind the scenes and making sure that we are not only with you in real time, but we're also with you afterwards. So on the platforms, be it YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we're there. We need your help. So this QR code, Eric, is an opportunity for our community members who indeed value diversity conversations. You can scan this QR code with your smartphone or any other device, and you'll see a quick blurb about what diversity conversations really is.
Right.
And at your comfort level.
Right. Now, I want to reiterate on that, at your comfort level, which means when we are asking you, I love when the preachers used to say in church, Tommie, if there's two numbers in your head, the little ones from the devil and the big ones from God. And so I would just laugh when they would say that. But here's the point that Tommie's making here. Community, you all are all over the place in terms of your means and the kinds of things that you can invest in. And so for those of you that might be a $10 subscription or $10 investment might be taxing for you. And guess what? Tommie and I are going to say thank you, ain't we, Tommie?
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to say thank you. We love you. We thank you for that. But some of you have major resources or even connected to people with major resources. Tommie and I are not asking you to help just us. We're asking you to help the concepts that we're talking about. Your voice, we want to be able to hear that more fully. And we want to make sure that there's a global reach. There is a global reach right now, but we want to make sure that we're actively advertising that and pushing that. So the messages that you all celebrate us for, that we can get that around the world in bigger, greater ways.
I think you make a real good point, Eric, because obviously we're very transparent. We've been transparent every weekend for 7 years.
That's right.
And you all have too. You've chimed in via the chat room. You shared some thoughts. At one point, there was some energy, positive and negative energy, and folks was able to politely escort the negative energy out the door.
Right.
So in part of the donation, the contribution that you plan to make, it will keep our lights on, one. It will allow us to take care of the behind the scenes professionals,
right.
2. And 3, what we do know is that there are some high profile people, be it celebrities, maybe politicians, subject matter experts, who would love to be on the show, but they do want to be valued for their time and knowledge.
Right.
And so a small gesture
Stipend.
is better than nothing.
Right.
And your commitment, as well as ours, because we are going to continue, Eric and I is going to continue to support. It will bring on board that person that could really spotlight diversity conversations and then make us go, if not global, just go universal.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do. So we have some things to talk through today. Every now and again, we're going to have a gentle reminder to you, community, that we love and adore. If you find it in your heart, and if you find it in your area and comfort zone to contribute. And this is the QR code that you can use to contribute at the level that you feel is best for you.
Right. Let's continue. So
All right.
So this one really looks at one of our objectives. And so, Tommie, our first objective is to elevate global reach and influence. So, Tommie, I can't see it from this side. If you can see those comments, why don't you hit those?
Absolutely. And some of this is repetitive from last week. So you all that join us every week, we're not going to go through every detail again and again and again. But when we look at diversity conversations as the world's leading inclusion podcast, we're the third largest in the world based on our content.
Ranked number 3 out of all the inclusion podcasts in the world. We're ranked number 3.
Now that is impressive. Let's stay there just for a moment.
Y'all did that.
Eric, we were just having conversations.
Right.
In our community years ago, they were joining us just audibly.
That's
listening to the radio. You remember those days?
Exactly, man. We had a lot of fun running over to Kentucky.
A lot of fun.
The little white building.
Folks would call in, not often, but they'll call in. We had a producer that was sitting right in front of us.
That's right.
That's exactly right. Those who could not see, because we weren't on, video podcast, that particular person was right in front of us. And then we transitioned. COVID hit, and we transitioned to a new platform that had already been there, but we utilized it. And our diversity conversations grew by way of verbal and visual. And so it is great to be able to visualize a dream. Diversity conversations is the realization that our community is a loving community. We're not just hearing it every now and again by eavesdropping to another conversation. This community, our community, actually has helped us be who we are today.
And I feel like Issa Rae, I feel like Spike Lee, that Tommie Lewis and Eric Ellis believe that our real job in many ways is to be content creators. And so we're not just even looking at diversity conversations alone. We see this as a network that we literally will be able to put on other podcasts. Some of you in our community may be interested in that. We want to own our own content and get our own messages out there to the world. I don't know if you all have heard that they're starting to take down all the history. I mean, they're just taking down anything that we did, man. They're tearing up the paperwork, shutting down the museums. We've got to create our own content, and we are looking to you to really join us as a partner in making that happen.
So part of the alignment is the alignment lens, Eric. Again, we talked about this last week. Just want to double down and living according to our values and purpose. There are other podcasts in the atmosphere. And there are other podcasts, because I listen and I watch them, other podcasts that had started in a particular genre or subject or topic. And then the host or hostesses, they transitioned into more robust topics. So for example, there may be a podcast that started in sports because the hosts were former sports athletes. And as an athlete, we're all more than just that. And so respectfully, they were able to move into other areas of life. Sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's entertainment, sometimes it's education, et cetera, et cetera. I applaud all of that. With diversity conversations, we started with the all.
I love that.
And now we're expanding through our values and purpose of humanity into getting into the all and then the specific and then back to the all. So it's an ecosystem, right? From the macro to the micro and then back to the macro. It is, I think, diversity conversations is one of the most pivotal conversations that human beings should be having.
Right. I love that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So when we're saying, so our main topic today is a follow-up from last week, is reflecting on your worth. And so point number one is the alignment lens. Am I living according to my values and purpose? The second is the growth lens. Am I evolving, learning, and becoming better? I love this, Tommie, that every day that I wake up, I get a chance to grow, to learn, to get better at what we do. And that's exciting, man. I mean, I feel like it's almost like a kid, man, that you're just being able to almost be reborn if you have this growth lens. And that's what Tommie and I have been trying to do with you all community, is to bring forth information that helps you to grow. You say some things sometimes that make us grow. We have guests that join us that bring wisdom and insight that makes us grow. Tommie Lewis and Eric Ellis are talking to each other during the show, after the show, and growing, because this lens allows us to strengthen our ultimate self-worth.
So I want to throw the question to you, Eric, and be more specific about growth. We're not the same people than we were 10 years ago, 15, right, 30 years ago. So over the last couple of weeks, where have you experienced growth?
Well, my mind got hijacked because I was thinking about your own growth and just about the things that you're going through personally. And you had shared something that was a change from a decision that you had made earlier. And when I saw that, I was moved by that. And Tommie, I thought about that probably 5 or 7 times this last week, man. I just said, man, and every time I thought about you, I put up a prayer. I offered up a prayer because it's one thing to say that you're open to growing. It's another thing to try to do that. It's one thing to say that you are a man of God and that you want to be led by the things of God. It's another thing to say that. It's one thing to say that. It's another thing to do that. And so when I saw Tommie pivot in a direction that I knew was difficult, because it would have been really difficult for me personally, I was just blown away by that. So instead of talking about my own growth, I just want to take this moment to admire observing your growth in real time, wrestling with something that God had called you to do that you embraced. Yeah. And then I just, wow.
I appreciate that, Eric. That's, in my mind, it is the internal diversity conversation.
Yeah.
It's pitting perspectives. Mm-hmm. It's pitting emotions. It's pitting possible outcomes. Mm-hmm. There can be a positive outcome. There can be a less than positive outcome. Mm-hmm. So I have to work to pit those against one another, mm-hmm, listen to all of it,
right,
and allow the best voice to surface to the top.
Right.
And it's never easy for me.
Right.
However, my process to have that conversation is much easier now.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, mm-hmm, it's difficult to have the conversation, mm-hmm, internally.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I get quick to having the difficult conversation.
Man,
I do.
That's powerful. Now let me answer the question too.
Yep.
So for me, in the last week, again, it's one thing to walk in faith and to say that you have faith. It's another thing to have to wait on things that you're praying for from God. But I'm excited because God has given me some things around business growth and development. I've shared it with you all, but now I had to walk in it. And I'll tell you, man, as that road gets tighter, Tommie, it always does get harder.
Yeah.
But what's powerful is the encouragement that God gives me by the things that he's doing. And so I'll say something like, God gave this to me. And Tommie, I know people look at me like I'm crazy. God did what? That's your strategy? Okay. Well, tell me how it works.
Tell me how that works. And watch it work.
And so I've been the observer. So I go in my office, I make busy, I throw powder on my face, I do some things, and then I watch God's hand work. I connected with a person. So God said, Eric, I want you to tap your network, and I want you to bless the people that are in your network. And so right now, people are joining me because of this sort of people-to-people business growth strategy that God gave me. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it is working. I mean, I just got introduced by somebody in my network to a multi-billion-dollar company, and we've got a sales call tomorrow, and that's sort of a super warm, if not hot lead, because of somebody in my network and because of God saying to me, Eric, what I want you to do is you've got a vast network of people that you've respected, you've valued, you've honored them. And in many ways, what's interesting is that I think I'm reaching out to them to help me. And God is showing me that many of them they were like fish that were almost drowning in water, and they were in need of somebody to bring along encouragement and something that would reaffirm them and regenerate their optimism. And Tommie, so that's what I'm seeing. That it's not, the business part of it is the smallest part. The greater part is the reconnection and the relationship and the encouragement and the gratefulness that I have for people bringing something to the table and then being in need of prayer and encouragement and love and optimism. Those are things that don't cost anything, Tommie. Yeah. And so I'm grateful that God is, I'm so grateful that God is on my team.
Yeah, Eric, I see that as I was listening to you, I'm thinking a number of things. I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say it to our community, that there is absolutely more than one way to achieve success.
Right.
Right. And so as I was listening to you, I know you're talking about business.
Yeah.
There are kind of fundamental, traditional ways of growing business. Mm-hmm. And the traditional way is through sales. Mm-hmm. Right. So you put together a sales strategy, and you have yourself or others on your quote unquote sales team. Right. And you go after the emerging markets. Right. Right. Uh-huh. If you have existing clients, you continue to sell to those clients, called deeper dive. Right. So you get a deeper dive in those existing clients so you can continue the cash flow. Right. And providing the service. My approach for my business is more European traditional. Uh-huh. I was just admiring that before the show, though. So there are some systems that are put in place that we at our company, we have to compete for. And it's competing with, sometimes it's just 5 clients. Right. Sometimes it's 500. Absolutely been 500. Wow. And we get the list of all of those companies who have submitted bids, and it would be 450, 475 companies, 500. Right. For us, a win is just getting on the short list, because that's very rare. Right. Usually we don't even get a call back or a notice that the contract has been awarded. Right. Right. Most people just follow up like 3 months later. What happened to that? Oh yeah, we awarded that 3 months ago. Right. You're saying that you're leveraging your relationships, and through the grace of God, there's the power of reciprocity, that as much as you have given to other people, you are asking with humility and through respect, do me a solid. Now, I will even compensate you for doing me a solid. And as that relationship is evolving, folks say, yeah, I can do that. But Eric, here's what's happening with me. Now you are now doing what you did before. Right. So as you're making deposits into your relationships and asking for a return on that investment, the return comes back as, I can do that for you, but I still need you, Eric Ellis, and what you've done for me. Right. Love is so powerful that no matter how much you give, you still have more to give. Hate is the opposite. Hate is all consuming. Right. So Eric Ellis is the embodiment of love, and you're asking people that you have relationships with, be it personal or professional, to love you back. And the love is, connect me to a potential opportunity. Go ahead and tee me up. Right. And watch us get stronger. Now I'll get in there and my team and be able to hit it. Right. And direct the ball where it needs to go. Right. But just tee me up. That's something that I haven't done. I've done it once or twice, and it's not as proven to make it plain. Your process is now proving itself.
Mhm.
I share all that to say those are just two ways.
Right.
There are more ways.
There are infinite.
Infinite ways.
And all we have to do is stay open to what God is saying to us. I'm never going to be a great Tommie Lewis, but I can be a great Eric Ellis. Tommie Lewis is never going to or desire to be a great Eric Ellis, but he can be a great Tommie Lewis. And we learn from each other. And I'll tell you that what I'm seeing is God is showing me that we are all so busy in this world that we just don't make enough time to connect with each other. And so this business connection is like the false face for the conversation that we needed. And I'm finding that, hey, I reached out, hey, you okay? I want to talk to you about something. And then all of a sudden I see him down in a hole, man.
Yeah.
And I said, hey.
Now you go to empathy.
Yeah, come on. No, I'm here. Hey, but do I look like I'm sad? Do I look like I'm sad? Don't let them make you sad. That's what I'm saying. Don't let them make you sad.
That's a good word.
We can do this. We
good
can do this. Hey, hustle with me. I'm trying to make some things happen. And I need you. I need you. And that's something that I've never been good at. Saying, I need you.
Indeed.
Tommie's doing something right now for me that's just a blessing. And it's really a small part of it is uncomfortable because I've never received much. And so it's like, receiving. Wow. Hey, Tommie, I appreciate that. But we don't experience that much. And what I told you, I'll say this again. Tommie will remember it. What God said to me is, Eric, if you can't be a good receiver of gifts and help, he said, then your giving is nothing more than pride.
Wow.
And I was like, huh? Because, yeah, it's nice to be able to say the thing, even if you don't say it. Pride sometimes can happen in the giving. The receiving, we have to humble ourselves to be good receivers. Sometimes we receive because we're in need, but sometimes we receive just because somebody else wants to bless us. And I've just been grateful for that. And I'm grateful for these relationship doors that God's opening up, because as I begin to encourage people, Tommie, it inspires me.
Yeah.
So it's like a reciprocal right away. It's almost like volunteering. Right after the show that Tommie did with what was her name again? Watkins.
Yes.
From CAA.
Yeah.
Ms. Watkins, he did the show with her. Man, I sent money off to the food pantry in Cincinnati, and I just felt so much better. And that's what's happening in this thing that I'm doing, is I'm reconnecting with people, and it's encouraging to them, but it's making me feel better as well.
Eric, I think this is a great opportunity to return back to our community and invite our community to check out the QR code in the center of the screen that you see here. Not only are we going to deepen the listener engagement and community growth, but at this time, we're going to simply ask you, right, that we need your help.
Absolutely.
We need your support.
Right. That's good,
so
Tommie.
if you can go to the QR code, make the contribution as you see fit. We're asking with humility, but we do have a need. Right. So we are unapologetically saying we want to continue to support our community, but we just need a little help.
That's right.
So you can go to the QR code, make your donation. Right. We'll be doing this for the rest of our show today and a few more weekends. This is our campaign as we wrap up Thanksgiving, moving into the Christmas season.
Right.
But we want to invite you to make your donation.
Right. Do you remember when Odell Owens was alive and he used to do the sort of public station, campaigns that he would try to raise money for WCET, I think it was. I used to watch Odell on that all the time. He was my friend, and I loved seeing the outreach that he was doing. Here's what we're saying to you, community, and I'm glad that you brought it back to we are asking for your help. I said that that's hard for me, and but it's not hard for God. And God is a loving God, an awesome God, an all-powerful God. Sometimes we get help from God as we ask for help. We get forgiveness from God as we ask for forgiveness. But it starts with humility and humbling ourselves to say, that what Tommie and I are trying to do, we cannot do by ourselves. We can only do it if you find it valuable enough to help. And if you do, I promise you, you will see sort of a benefit from the seed that you make of an investment in diversity conversations.
And so, we want to keep going here, the relationship lens, right? What is the quality of the connections in my life? That's what we're asking ourselves. That's what we're talking about right now.
Right.
Eric, I think that for myself, that my relationships with those who I continue to nurture, or that I've had in the past that have been sown very well, watered very well, and grew to a point where the trunk and the roots were deep. So those relationships may not have been watered for 5, 10, 15 years. In other words, I have not seen certain people in 15, 20 years.
Right.
But the trunk and the roots of the relationship are strong. And so when I do, if I do, and when I have, return back to that relationship, I'm very thankful that God had placed upon my thought and my speech and my behavior then that I didn't burn down trees.
That's good, Tommie. Right.
I am talking about when I was single and dating, I had girlfriends. None of those girlfriends are my wife now.
Right.
So it didn't get to that level. We broke up. I'm still friends with them.
Right.
I'm married with children. They're married with children. Some folks, second marriage, like myself. Others, third marriage, maybe didn't remarry. No judgment.
Right.
But the relationship is, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Newer relationships, I am more intentional about the seed and the soil that I put it in.
No doubt.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so the relationship lens is what's the quality of the connection. I'm really focused on what is the quality, not the quantity. I don't need to look at social media and see 1,500 friends, quote unquote. And if I call any one of them, hey, I need a dime, a dollar, or a few bucks more, will I get $1,500 if each person gave a dollar?
Right.
Likelihood, no. Those folks would not respond at all. But if I go to my strong few, to say, hey, I'm in need.
Whatever I got, you got.
Spot me up.
Right.
And it's not just and only about financial currency. I think it's spiritual. I think it's emotional. I think it's physical.
Right.
Some folks are waiting to show up to put in work, right? Physical. Some folks are waiting to be the prayer warrior, right? And so those are my relationships, and I value this relationship, Eric, and to the point of I want diversity conversations to continue. Have particular dreams around studio, multi-use of the studio, bring in some revenue. Some of those aspirations did not realize, and now we're to a point, and I'm okay with it, to say we need your help.
Right, absolutely, because it's a tough world out there. Everybody's in the fight, but I'll tell you what, I was listening to the radio this week, and I was hearing about the importance of relationships for your own health and survival. And they looked at people who had strong friendships and relationships, the quality of their lives, the health of their lives was improved and extended as a result of quality relationships. 2 weeks ago, I went to the funeral of Mr. William Goins, the father of all the kids I know, the Goins family. There's 9 children, 3 girls, 6 boys. 37 grandchildren, 24 great-grandchildren. And we were at the funeral that weekend, Tommie. And literally, we stayed up, man, the first night till 4 a.m. talking. The second night, I stayed up with them probably till 2 a.m., but they told me they stayed up till 5 a.m. Now, what's the lesson there? The lesson there that we're actually starved for time together. And Tommie, the world we live in right now is hustling and bustling, and people are too busy, man. We go home, we rest up, recharge, and then get up the next day and do it all over again. What Tommie and I are saying is that as you reflect on your worth, one of the lenses that you want to measure it through is the relationship lens and the quality of those relationships. What's next, Tommie?
We do talk about the contribution lens, but we'll move on to the next slide, Eric, if we can. Again, encouraging our community to stay with us, continue the conversation. And we would like, number 3, to strengthen financial sustainability and production capacity.
Right.
So that's not just for diversity conversations, but that's also in our respective businesses, as well as our respective homes, right?
Right.
As we finish up the fourth quarter of 2025,
right,
and move into the first quarter of 2026, I would like to challenge ourselves and our community to have a plan, both a personal growth plan, a business growth plan, professional growth plan, and a financial growth plan that we can actually develop a tier sponsorship opportunity or a tier financial opportunity. And that if it's financial, it may be diversifying our streams of income.
Absolutely.
Right. We do that as businesses.
Right.
We don't have one client to bring in all the revenue.
Right.
We diversify our clients. Right. We have to pivot and change our services to meet the needs and demands of the day. So we're talking here ultimately with diversity conversations. We have a goal.
Right.
And our plan and our goal is to reach $10,000.
That's it. $10,000. I know some people right now that could get it right now. The cash app 10,000 right now. Wouldn't mean nothing. And others of you, it's $10. And you better get the pennies. I think they just mapped them, wrote them off. So 10 pennies, we'll take that too. But I'm just saying that many people, Tommie, are sitting around with means to invest in good ground and good soil. You may have $1 million that you want to invest in some good soil. You see all the noise that's happening around us. You see all the confusion and all of the negativity. And so I know some of you just stopped by Tommie Lewis and Eric Ellis just to get a booster. Like instead of a COVID shot, you're getting a diversity conversation booster shot.
Yes, sir.
And so what we're saying is boost us. Make that investment in what we're trying to do, in the dreams and the visions that God has placed in us that you connect with. Do not give us $1 if you ain't feeling what we're doing.
Absolutely.
But if you're feeling what Tommie Lewis and Eric Ellis are trying to do through the lens of diversity conversation, knowing that people are trying to snuff out the whole concept. But what I know, Tommie, is the only doorway to the future, to a successful future, is through the door of inclusion and respect and the myriad of people. Right now, even the president is making a pivot towards what are they, the R1B visas or whatever he's trying to, the business visas that he's trying to now go after, because they recognize that some of the talent that we need in this country to innovate in ways that continue to make us one of the greatest economic powers in the world, we're going to need outside of America. And so if America, in a time when we're trying to eliminate all immigration, when those who are doing that are still trying to get folks in here that are talented, we're saying we're trying to do the same, and we need your help to make that happen.
Yeah, we do need your help. And again, to double and triple down, Eric, you and I will have these conversations regardless if there's a microphone, camera,
that's right,
lights, we will have these conversations.
Absolutely.
We just know that our community values and appreciates not only just a conversation between two men or two people, but the community at large. If you agree with what we're saying or not, it doesn't matter. Let's have dialogue. And that builds resilience. Dialogue, sometimes discomfort, adversity builds resilience. And that's why number 5 here, the resilience lens. How have I responded to adversity?
That's a powerful one. But I'm going to jump off script for just a minute, y'all, because I'm going to do a little demonstration here. I'm going to pull up my phone, because this is what Tommie Lewis and Eric Ellis are asking you to do right now, is to pull up your phone. Now, if you look at the screen, you will see a lots of QR codes. Lots of QR codes up there, Tommie. Hey, we want you to go to the 2 square QR codes if you want to learn more about Tommie and Eric Ellis and our business. That's beautiful. But the one that we really want you to aim in on, take your phone, aim it right in on the circle. That's the one that you can make a contribution to. Now, the resilience lens, how have I responded to adversity? Well, I don't know about you all, but we're in the midst of adversity every day. Adversity does not discriminate.
No, sir.
It comes after all of us. And what I'm grateful for is God is allowing me to learn how to rest sometimes in adversity, Tommie, where I don't have quick answers. where it's I don't see clearly the way forward, but I'm feeling it. And I'll tell you that adversity, I figured that adversity is going to take its turn with everybody. And the last thing I want to sort of say is why me? Well, why not? And so I take my adversity and I seek to understand what the lesson is in it for me. And then how can I get myself out of this pretzel? Because it's a pretzel. And okay, I can't breathe real good, but I'm gonna figure out how to get out of that. And that's what I've been doing in my entire life. Because what I know is that while I'm in my pretzel, there are a lot of other people that are in pretzels too, Tommie.
Oh, yeah.
And many of them don't have the resilience to find a way out of theirs. And I am so grateful when I come along the road and find people in a pretzel.
Eric, so again, when you speak, I like to just reflect on how I'm getting better. Hopefully I can share some words to help other people. At the end of the day, I think that to get better as a person, the person has to take accountability.
Right? It's heavy now. Come
on
now.
When you were talking, I'm thinking of my own life and where I have taken accountability and where I have not.
Preach, preacher.
So when I have put myself in a pretzel.
Yeah. Tommie said I put myself in a pretzel.
Yeah, put
right.
myself in it.
A lot of us do.
Right.
Exactly.
When I put myself in a pretzel,
right.
Sometimes it was intentional to put myself in the pretzel and bring someone else into that pretzel.
Okay.
So we're all twisted.
Okay.
Intentional. I had that in me.
Right. Oh,
or
yeah.
If I'm twisted.
Yeah, you're going to be twisted right here with me.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted because I'll twist you. Right? Because I am in the pretzel. So if I'm doing it to myself, what am I going to do to you?
Right.
Right.
Right. Oh.
Sometimes I was brought into the pretzel. And then I just kept twisting.
Right.
Right.
Hold on. They were sad they put you in that pretzel, huh?
They may be.
Right. You start putting pressure. You say you start putting effort on them, pressure on them, like, whoa.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that.
All right.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
We all in here now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get what you want.
Right. Right.
So from my perspective, taking accountability, I had to ask myself, and I still ask myself here, have I changed my mindset that would change my speech and my behavior to get a different outcome?
Okay.
The pretzels that I put myself in, it was my mindset. That's it. I was thinking that. Now, with that, I was rationalizing things. Right? I was rationalizing, this is why I think this way, this is why I do this, whatever, right? But in reality, if I was in control of myself, right? In control of my thoughts, in control of my ambitions, in control of my vices, if I was in control of it, then I could make a decision to go or stop. So my point to you is, one example was, at one time, very early in my life, I drank alcohol. Before I was 21, I drank a lot. I was in college, and everybody was doing it.
Right.
And I was not doing it because everybody else was doing it. I was doing it because I wanted to.
Right.
And then I went through a process, and actually went through a process with a few other folks.
Okay.
About a 6-month process, and became more knowledgeable of self and kind, and made a decision to stop drinking. Just like that.
Right.
Stop.
Right.
Right. I need a little sugar. My body's calling it, so I drink a Coke or a Pepsi.
Right.
When I stopped, I know the day, I literally had a soft liquor. It was just a wine cooler. And I was in college, and I finished the cooler and threw it down on the ground. And I'm not a litterer.
Yeah, but I like
broke
that.
it,
Oh, wow.
and it shattered.
Powerful,
and as it shattered, right, I was like, I'm done with that.
Right. You have no control over me.
None. And I was done.
Wow.
That pretzel that I got myself in, it wasn't the pretzel of alcohol.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
It was the pretzel of having to be in the norm or being in the group, being accepted for the behavior that I was doing with the group.
Right.
And when I broke the bottle and I developed and sustain my own self.
Oh, look at that.
Other people
Right. Start trying to follow that.
No.
Oh,
They simply saw me as who I was. They didn't necessarily follow me.
right.
They were still doing
But
it.
at least they saw.
No, they
Right.
everyone
Now you
knows
see who I
Tommie
am.
doesn't drink.
Right.
There's no shame or blame.
Right.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. Right. He
Mhm.
doesn't. He don't do it. I don't do it. I can be in the midst of
Right.
everything
Right.
and not
Right.
indulge.
Right.
I don't care what it is.
Right.
I had to take personal accountability
Mm.
that I was putting myself in a pretzel.
Right.
I had to sleep in the bed that I made.
Mm.
So personal accountability, Eric, I think it's critical for all of us if we are going to know and be able to truly respond to adversity. Some of the adversity is what we created for ourselves.
So I'm in that space as well, Tommie. I've never drank, smoked, got high, any of that. But I tell people all the time, you ain't said nothing if you brag about what you haven't done. Eat. What have you done? You know, I got a lot of stuff that I have done. We'll talk about that on another episode. But one of the things that I'm doing now is I've got diabetes, and I'm trying to. So, you know, I had to say to myself, Eric, you're too smart to be this ignorant. What is diabetes? How does it work? And how are you contributing to it just out of ignorance?
Yeah.
Willful ignorance. And so me and Chat
Indeed.
was up all morning the other day. And I started asking Chat about diabetes. I said, and I need you to break it down in a language that I can understand. So Chat says, your body needs sugar. Okay. And so when you get diabetes, it's like the door that allows the appropriate sugar to get into your body in order to get, it's gotten gummed up. And so now that door is not opening as well. And so that sugar is building up outside of its effective and functional use in your body. So it's clogging up arteries and other kinds of things because now your body is not being able to build up enough insulin to open those doors so it can get into useful spaces. And so when you eat sugar and carbs and all those kind of things, they make that door harder and harder to open, so that the sugar is able to effectively be used as energy in your body. So when I saw that, Tommie, I said, oh no, I got to stop doing that then. Because I'm really, the veins are being restricted, constricted, smaller, because all of this stuff is building up inside of my arteries and veins and not being able to be effectively distributed into my body to give me the energy that I need. And so the more I miss that I don't have the sugar, the more I'll be tempted to eat more sugar, which is building up, gumming up things so that my body can't work like it needs to. So as I understand it at just the practical, I'm sorry, I'm not a physician. Sorry, I'm not a nurse. I'm just a regular old guy that's living his life sometimes like he's still in his 20s. And I'm no longer there. So I needed to understand it in layman's terms. So I started asking, well, what do I need to eat? Well, vegetables, nuts, yogurt. I mean, it was giving me all kinds of stuff that you could do. Whole grains, wheat bread, wheat, just anything that looks the same as it did when it came out the ground, you can do that. So that gave me, okay. So I started stocking up on stuff that looks the same way it did when it came out the ground. Sorry, y'all. But that's what Tommie is talking about. And then our last thing, Tommie, what is that? Joy and fulfillment lens.
Yes, joy and fulfillment lens. What makes me feel alive? Am I making space for it? Right. In other words, there's a few prompts here, Eric. What moments give me joy, peace, laughter, creativity, or connection?
Right.
For myself, very quickly, Eric, I enjoy my peace. Again, I'm an introvert by nature. I'm an introvert. So meaning I gain my energy from within. Right? Extroverts gain their energy from outside of themselves. There's not a right or wrong about either one. But for me, when I am understanding myself, when I am knowing that I'm growing and developing based on certain events, conversations, situations, when I literally have an epiphany, like, oh, this is a growing moment. This is a learning moment. Maybe it's a teachable moment, but it's teaching me. That's when I'm at my purest peace. Sometimes that moment is when I'm by myself.
Right.
Sometimes it's when I'm with a crowd. If I'm people watching, I may be watching other people, but realize that those people are like me. I'm a person. So, okay, I would respond like that. That's good. I've never responded like that.
Right.
But I put that in my toolkit.
Right. Okay.
And I find a lot of peace and joy. Eric, to be honest, in the pains that I've experienced in my life, from my mother and father passing, from my sister passing, going through a divorce, getting terminated from a job, losing access to my child in the same year.
Right.
All of that same year.
Right. Wow.
Even then, when I was going through it, I said, this is tough. Right? Just like playing ball. Like that other team is good.
Right.
Yeah, they're good.
Right.
They're good.
Right.
Let me go in the gym. And for me, going through those experiences, mentally, let me go in the gym. Spiritually, let me go in the gym. Right? Sometimes physically. Right? So I can really get the muscle memory. But otherwise, it was mentally and spiritually. I was in the gym working it out. No one can see me working, but they will always see me working.
And I want to add this to that in life, most people can't do that. And so the good news is that Tommie and Eric both, as we're trying to figure that out, we're also open to trying to partner with you to figure it out as well. Because joy is something I must find ways to get. So yesterday, I was just telling Tommie, I was at hard at work. I got a call from my oldest son. He said, me and my boys going golfing, Daddy, over at Beckett. You got any availability? Don't have any availability, bro. I'm out of here, Sarah. Catch the phones and all the reports I asked you to put together. I'm out. And I went over there and I just laughed and had a ball with them. One of his best friends and his brother that reminded me of my youngest, because this boy was 6'5", Tommie. He was just out there, man, dead serious about Mr. Ellis, we about to whoop you. And so I just had the biggest joy of my life playing with them, loving them, and seeing them, all three of them, as though they were my own sons. Today, I realized that I'm working on this healthier lifestyle, man. I got a bike at my office, and I got out on that bike today, man, and I just rode for 25 minutes. And I put my earbuds in, Tommie, and I just listened to music, and I felt like I was on top of the entire world, that I was out here. And then several times I went real fast. I was doing circles, Tommie. I was going real fast. I said, now, if I hit a bump or anything, it's over, because I cannot catch myself. I mean, I had to literally put one of my hands on the brake, just in case, because I ain't going to try to figure out where the brake is, man. I got to just set up early, because when you're old, you got to get a head start on this. I mean, you cannot be trying to get into the brake when you hit a bump, bro. So it came with a lot of excitement. It ain't the same bike riding as when I was a kid, when you popping wheelies and riding wheelies down the street. Now I'm past all of that. But man, I had a ball out there, and we're saying, make sure that you find joy in your life. Dominic, you have the final word, man.
Yeah, again, Eric, rich conversation here. We want to finally encourage our community to donate, to contribute, based on your comfort, based on your interest, to help support continuing diversity conversations. And so with that being said, we want to say thank you. Every week, same channel, same time, and join us next week on another episode of Diversity Conversations. Take care now.
Take care.